Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Beating the Press podcast. I am your host, Rafa. Now we're here vibing again with Jukie for the second part in his story. Jukie, welcome back to the platform.
Thank you for having me back. Bless up viewers and subscribers. Bless
All
them.
right, so at this point now, Jukie, you were telling us now that high school has finished sixth form, and you're now transitioning into a US college. But just rewind a bit for us. How did the scholarship situation come about?
Okay. Remember, I was saying even in the first half, prior 6 months prior to leaving high school, I was emailing, texting, emailing friends, first of all, friends that have matriculated onto college in the US. I wasn't just thinking about the US, but I was sending emails, reaching out, and from an honest standpoint, I wasn't even getting any feedback. So much that was motivating to say, okay. So it reached a point where I had to think, like, step back and think, like, what are you going to really do? You know, are you going to give up, or are you going to pursue, find a way, find some means of getting yourself into a college or getting yourself into a position where you can do better for yourself? For me, as to answer the question, it took me about 4 to 5 months after leaving high school, graduate, 2016 from Munro College. It took me until about December of that year, January of that year, to even Ghana. And I have to give a special shout out again, as I said in the last, to Roger Ati, Munir Mooney, past students of States also who did well in the Costa Cup. And that was basically what even helped me to get in contact with that school, even get in contact with the coach personally. And it just, in a matter of saying, it was students ahead of me doing better and doing good things that got me even just a conversation, because it wasn't just done and there. When I started talking to the school, sending them my videos, and that's one of the most important things. I only had a video lasting about 7 minutes, and if you want to check it out, it's on my YouTube, my name, and the Ryan Goulbourne on my YouTube. I only had about 2 matches, and that was not sufficient. Finding out that at that moment that I didn't have enough to advertise myself. In high school, I didn't have the knowledge, knowing that I needed all these things. I needed videoing, and in high school, Munro College, we only get about one TV match or a video match. So
Yes.
I set up as best as possible. How come in is just a little faith and God. Having faith in God, having faith in my ability, and having faith in that I'm serious about this destination. Because for me, I tried not to put all my eggs into one basket, so to speak. I kept several videos of track meets, and also just to make it a more all round.
So at that point then, Jukie, you were also doing track and field.
I was doing track and field. I was getting prepared to do the SAT. That's the SAT test, if you're familiar.
Right. The
That's
American, almost like a college exam test.
basically a placement test, if you
Right.
will.
Oh, so you
I
needed SAT to be eligible to get into college.
needed. I needed it.
Okay.
Needed it because none. I when I left high school, I had 8 CXC subjects, and three CSEC, both
Cape.
both yeah, both Cape.
Okay. Oh, Unit 1 and Unit 2 of Cape.
Yes, and just to say the least, that was nothing. It
Okay,
wasn't.
you needed to have done SAT.
Yes, so it was either I did SAT, and there was another test. For those who are familiar, there's another placement test. It's not really, I call it a placement test,
Right.
but that's basically what it is.
Right.
Because if I should say, like, I'm not going to come here and sit here like, oh, I'm more talented, and no, it took a lot of, let me say, like,
So
a
the
lot.
talent alone then, Jukie, wasn't enough. You needed to balance that with the academics as well.
My talent enough, as I was even speaking. I worked on my talent, but it wasn't close enough to even get me a placement, even a conversation with a coach. And as I said,
Gotcha.
I had email. If When I go through my email that I currently have now, I sent over 270 emails before I left Jamaica, and when I was flying, it was the first time I was flying. Like first,
First time on the Iron Bird.
first, to the point where it impacted me so much, even just landing here. And just to reiterate, when I came here, I didn't go exactly to college because I had to come over and I had to do the necessary things to get myself grounded and get myself like positioned and basically the knowledge of the surrounding of where I am.
Right,
So
right.
as I said, it took me 4 to 5 months to get in contact with the school to transfer. And through that, it was just all God's blessing and all students who had gone before me and made a way. And that impacted my matriculation very, very much. So it was not just based off talent or based off me just emailing a coach. And that's one of the realest, I think, things that I have learned, even just moving forward with my career, with what I was doing. It's
All
that
right.
it doesn't matter what you have done in the past, it's what you're doing now.
Doing now. All right. So now you're in the US. You're admitted into college. Remind us of the college again.
Mount Mercy University, that's in Iowa, United States.
Iowa.
It's more Catholic.
That's a very, what should I say? It's not the usual Jamaican destination when we hear of Jamaicans going to the US.
That is so true, and that I was so grateful. I didn't even like check. I didn't have any knowledge to really check back because I didn't know anything about the US. I didn't know the parts. I didn't know areas. I didn't know. So for me, it was, as I said in the first, it was surreal. Like even like everything was coming at
A
me.
brand new experience.
Brand new experience.
All right. So talk to us now in terms of your life during college. What was it like in terms of balancing the academics with the sports, and how well did you perform?
Okay. First and foremost, I wanna say even send a next big thank you, a big thank you for when I would say one of the persons who actually held me together even as a student, even because to answer your question, I was nowhere near ready to be a student, to be academically performing and both performing as an athlete, because I didn't have the background, I didn't have the necessary tools to really perform in each area. And as I said, students who have Munro Moody, I keep repeating the name because I had to somewhat follow the steps just to even make the grades and also be able to even have a prospect, even to even do track and field and do soccer. First, I want to say also, like, it's nothing like schooling and sports in Jamaica in that aspect. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter how much you think you are the man when you step on that field or when you step on that track. If you cannot prove to the superiors who admit you or even give you the opportunity to represent them. It took me, let me give you an example. It took me almost a year before I could start training with the team. So to the school, it took me a year, almost 9 months before I could go into practice or even put on a jersey or even put on a color to say, hey, I'm representing Mount Mercy, whether in a practice game or whether like just showcasing my skill. It took me almost a year because the thing that I didn't understand, there are so much hoops to jump through regards your academics, proving that you're not just reliant on the scholarship.
You had to attain a certain GPA.
Yes, and you have to show that first and foremost, it's not just one grade. Show that you're capable to hold a standard, which is reflecting of a good student, and that was one of the hardest things because for me, as I told you, even back in the first part, my family is a small family back down in St. Elizabeth. I still don't have any family close members who I could call and say, hey, how do I do this? How do I set myself this way? So for me, school wise and even sports wise, matriculating to a school in the US, 10 times, 10 times, I would say 10 times as hard just to be able to put yourself in a position where you're not just going into training and then leaving your schoolwork. Because
Right, right.
if you pay attention, you literally will be there thinking about playing soccer, going to training, thinking about running, thinking about all that stuff when the school year is passing you by, passing you. And it's a point where I had to change what I went to school, like my whole career,
Oh, you're a
my
major.
my whole major. I had to change my
So
whole
what did
major.
you end up studying?
I ended up studying nursing, and
Okay.
still, even now, even now, that's one of the things that even saved my career, if you will, because
Mhm.
you know, I should say this: like going to college showed me that I am not ready to be a professional player.
Mm.
If let me explain that. Oh,
This is a controversial statement there, Jukie.
yeah, yeah. Let me explain that because even just there, I had friends who came from Trinidad, who came from Bahamas, who came from Antigua, who I am still in contact with, who players who are playing even below the USL. Like they're still getting paid, but they're basically performing like how you would perform. It's like a smaller league,
Small,
small
semi-professional.
semi-professional league, and that it's well, I would say to them it's like just playing in the Premier League based off the journey that they have had to go through just leaving from a smaller country, coming to America, financially, educational wise, and even just being able to survive and just do what you love. Do what you love. It's not just about soccer. And going back to what I said, going into college for the first 2 years opened my eyes to show me that it's not just playing soccer that determines if you become a professional. It's it's who you know, it's how you perform, it's how you present yourself to those who are, you would say, in control of you moving on to one of the teams that you always look forward, or even just getting a call to a trial to
Mm.
be able to get an opportunity to even showcase what you can do and what you're prepared to do if they are about to hire you or even think about bringing you into the program. School, it was about just, for me, it was just like using my ability of playing soccer and doing track and field to get myself a degree, get myself on my way to a degree, even just not to worry about being kicked out of school for not keeping the grade, not being able to financially be as even potent as some of the students. So it's easy for them to pay for school, you know?
Right,
And
right.
for me, I had so much things swirling around in my brain, thinking about what if I don't make this grade this year? What if I don't make the GPA? Then this scholarship is not here. Then I will lose $10,000 towards my school fee. And then at the end of the day, I had to think about living condition because everything, no matter how you think about it down to the T, once you get once you get here, from my perspective, it's a whole different. You have to either one have somebody here who has already done it or been through it and can give you pointers as to how you can like
Follow.
move
Yes,
forward.
yes.
Because I didn't go. Most of my friends that I left high school with, they matriculated to a 2 year college, waiting to be picked up or even move on to a different college. I went into a 4 year program where it was not so much about the school being the top soccer or top track and field school in the region. It was so that you have educated and physically fit students who are firstly education, like their education are top par, and then they represent the school. That's the type of school that
Okay.
I matriculated to. It
Education
was,
first and then extracurricular activities after.
and that's the banner, and that's literally what held the school together.
Mhm.
Financial, how they get sponsored, that's how they get everything. So for me, going to that school, it really showed me my path forward, whether or not I was going to take this professional or I was going to use this as a step to get to where I want to get in life. Because in 2016, 2017, 2018, I was still thinking about professionally playing
Right,
soccer.
right.
I was still in that
Mod.
mindset that, hey, I'm playing soccer at a level that if you're a good coach, or not saying you're a good coach, and if you want good for your team and you see, like, I think I have the capabilities for to be a good asset. So I had that mindset. Fast forward now, getting into the school settings and getting into in and around the students who are performing, even performing educationally wise. I have even a crazy story because when I reached the school, I was so elated and happy because when I went to the first practice, it's like, I'm not gonna kid you, like they have students from all over the world,
Right.
Germany, Netherlands, all over the world, completely. When I say complete, like soccer players, when I say complete soccer players, like touches, everything, control, understanding the game, everything. But on the other side, they are academical like geniuses. So that was the setting, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Right, right,
Even
right. It's a balance between academics and sports, and players were at the top of their game in both
and that,
facets.
not to cut it, that's one of the things that opened my eyes. And even as I said, I don't know if it's kind of, I understand I'm trying to explain it, but this school, matriculating to this school, showed me that I didn't have what it takes. I didn't have what it takes to really put myself out there as being, hey, I'm
So
going
you were just
professional.
being realistic. You saw the reality of the
I
situation
saw the
and you
reality.
accepted that based on your skill set, your skill level, it's not
And,
gonna go that route.
and even not just the skill level, based on the mindset that I came to America with. And that wasn't just saying that it wasn't just off my own volition. It's just in the school setting, growing up in Jamaica, in the school setting, and even like, and that's what I got to big up Munro College also, because I've been around other different schools. Munro College is the only high school I went to. I didn't transfer, I didn't, but I know the states, I know the Black Rivers, I even know the Georges, I know how the programs, I know students who have matriculated, and we are in groups up here, like we keep contact, and that's one of the things. Once you leave and you get here, it's, as I said, it's a whole different aura, and I think one of the things that students that are younger than me now who are looking to matriculate, it's it's first and foremost your mindset. Your mindset is your biggest weapon. When I say mindset, how you think about what you're going to do, or how you think about yourself. So for instance, you have students who, and you have the like the minority who are so good that it's not about education. They're going right into like the prime example, the guy who got signed for Chelsea just for Manning Cup, who plays for
Whisper.
Jamaica, like Whisper, and that was not my case. I mean, that still is not my case, and that's minority, like I wouldn't say minority, majority now of students who have the ability to play, and they have some smarts, they have like intellectually, but at the level that they are at in Jamaica, they're just thinking about the soccer and just barely making the bare minimum educationally. And that was me. And when I came here, it really it really didn't sit well with the program that I was in. And as I'm saying, I wasn't even, the school that I went to, it wasn't even D1 or D2. We had to play and go to championship and in order to get promoted. And
Right, right.
even after I left there, even the seasons that I was there, we went as far as semifinals, but we didn't matriculate to going higher than that. But it was still an experience for me where, as I said, it's something that I could talk about because I remember how I was thinking and how it all changed when I actually get into it. I want to say I wasn't equipped or I wasn't thinking about how it would be when I got there. Naturally, you're young, you're thinking about your abilities, but you're not thinking about what you need
The
actually, or
realities.
know you don't know what it really takes to do what you think you need to do, you know? And that's one
Right.
of the things was the real shocker for me when I got here. It I want to say it was extremely hard. I wasn't making the grades.
So,
I was not, and
so
it
what's the
wasn't
biggest
about
challenge you've had to overcome? Or what's
yes.
one of the biggest challenges?
Biggest challenge I had to overcome, like one of, because I have so many. One of the biggest, it was schooling. Like, and it's not about the random test or understanding. It's like putting yourself in a position to really do good. And I people might hear me saying it, or viewers might hear me saying it, and be like, oh, but let me try to even explain it. When I was in the Jamaican setting going to high school, it wasn't that it was mandatory for me to have educational value. And when I say educational value, meaning that outside of how I look at myself, like sports wise, I needed to really think about educationally, like this is the most important part of what you're going to become. It's how you do your work, your schoolwork, or how you set yourself up to show or to showcase. Because one of the things the coaches over here, the coaches that you email, they're not responsible for your admission
Mm,
things. Majority of the coaches, majority of even the scouts, that as soon as they get you to the doorstep of the school, it's on you. And that's one of the things. Like even when I got here and finished talking to the coach, and I had to actually go into the administration office and start to put together my profile as a student, it was all on me. And that's one of the biggest challenges that I had. Like showing after 2 3 months, even going to the school, showing that I'm here for school. I'm here
right.
for school. All the responsibilities, you're still obligated. You're obligated for training, you're obligated for everything. But that does not, even in high school, when I was in high school, when I was back in Jamaica, like the coach love a certain player. He's a
He's
love,
gonna
but
go the extra mile.
he's going to make sure that hey, he see you are walking across the paddock court, or he see you somewhere, or some teacher comes to him and say, hey, this, that, or your report. There was none of that. There is none
Yeah,
of that.
the responsibility now rests solely with you.
And the motivation, everything to get up
Mm,
to go to class in minus degree weather, to do all of
the
that,
discipline.
the discipline, and that's what I mean when I said like getting admitted into the school and actually going through the motion in school. I realized that I don't know if I'm the only one who had, I don't think I'm the only one because